There was 1,500 sirens that you could hear going through the streets.
And they ended here at this IHOP. More on the deadly violence that unfolded inside and put area military posts on alert.
No pictures, everything's gone. We got out with actually what we were wearing and our cars and our family.
A woman goes back home to see what's left after a wildfire gave her and her family 15 minutes to get out. Her emotional story coming up. Imagine going through airport security without taking your shoes off. It may soon be possible. From a slab of clay to criminal? Why police are looking for Gumby. Your Independent News Network starts right now.
This is a small town, and it's just kind of gut-wrenching, and it's just disturbing for us.
A Nevada community is reeling after bullets fly at breakfast inside a pancake house, killing members of our military. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. The death toll has risen to 5 after yesterday's violence in Carson City. Eduardo Cencion of Carson City fired multiple shots on a table of uniformed National Guard members. Of the dead, 3 were with the National Guard. 1 just died today after undergoing surgery. A civilian woman was also killed. Another 7 people were hurt. The gunman also shot himself outside the restaurant.
The community is safe. This was an isolated gunman, if you will, and he did take his own life.
Police have yet to figure out if he was targeting the Guard members, and if so, why. We're also hearing from witnesses who watched the violence unfold. Here's Shannon Moore from our affiliate, KRXI.
It was a horrific scene as officers held up a tarp to hide the deceased.
There was 1,500 sirens that you could hear going through the streets.
Officials say the attack was no act of terrorism, but the motive has yet to be determined.
It is too early to have any answers to any concrete questions about why, what. We're just now grabbing this under control.
Carson City Sheriff Ken Furlong said Cencion used a version of an AK-47.
Police say the shooter got out of his car, shot several rounds up into the air before opening fire inside the IHOP.
They're unsure exactly how many shots were fired, but they did find a magazine of 30 lying empty on the ground.
As best I can describe to you, the parking lot incident suggests that he spun around in the parking lot shooting. Most of the businesses within a 360-degree turn have been damaged.
The gunman was living in Carson City and had connections to a family-owned business in South Lake Tahoe. He was born in Mexico but living here under a valid passport. Family members told authorities they believe he had some sort of mental illness but had no criminal record. People living in the area spoke out about the tragedy.
This is a small town. We hear about this kind of news from the Bay Area, Oakland, LA, things like that. Every once in a while in Reno, but never here. And it's just kind of gut-wrenching, and it's just disturbing for us.
One witness told us Cencion's demeanor was calm. He didn't appear to be frantic or upset while acting out his shooting spree. 2 more guns were found inside the blue minivan that Cencion drove to the restaurant, the car belonging to his brother. According to officials, the investigation is expected to last at least 24 hours. Shannon Moore reporting for INN News.
Now, because some victims were members of the National Guard, military bases in that area have ramped up security. Again, police will not say yet if the guardsmen were targeted. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has put military bases on high alert, not because of this incident, but because of the 10-year anniversary of 9/11 coming up on Sunday. The Government Accountability Office is giving the Department of Homeland Security an incomplete for a grade. The GAO says the 10-year-old department has made significant strides in protecting the nation, but has yet to reach its full potential. The report gives no new recommendations for how to improve national security. As this grade comes out, the department is looking to have us keep our shoes on at airport security. Right now, travelers are required to take them off at checkpoints. But Homeland Security experts say that could end soon, thanks to some new technology. However, those experts say to expect restrictions on liquids to stay in place. Now the latest on another big story happening right now in Texas, where wildfires are charring even more land and homes. And we're getting a lesson in just how fast a wildfire can burn. This incredible video from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department shows us the amazing speed flames can move. This is not sped up, it's real time, with flames rapidly burning through dry grass in Bastrop State Park. More than 90% of the 6,000-acre park has been burned. And in that same area, fires have now consumed more than 700 homes. That fire is only about 30% contained and has scorched more than 30,000 acres. Meanwhile, some families are returning home to see what's left behind, including Nichelle Bielinsky. She, her husband, and daughter only had 15 minutes to grab what they could and leave.
And that's my house.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, the oak trees are still there. Oh my gosh, the numbers are standing.
Are you all right? You're shaking.
I'm okay. I am the luckiest person in the world. My family is safe.
Wow, even animals are finding it hard to outrun the fires. But thanks to one family, a number of four-legged Texas residents are dodging those flames. Ryan Korsgod has our story.
When you have to pack up the ranch and get away from the flames, you take the 4 horses, more than 30 goats, put them in a trailer, and take off.
We went home and we were going to sleep a little bit. And then we woke up at like 9 and they said, well, you have to evacuate because it's over by the high schools.
Most of Dana Richards' livestock is now in front of this store on Highway 304 in Bastrop County. That includes her black lab, Claude, who desperately wants away from the goats. Dana spent the night in her pickup, and she's not sure of what's at home.
I have no idea. He has to go back and check.
The State Forest Service says about 600 homes have burned, covering more than 30,000 acres in Bastrop County. It is the most destructive fire in Texas this year.
Bring the goats over at the house and we can put them in that pen for now.
Jimmy Buckaloo saw Dana's animals and stopped to help. He knows his family could be next.
Get our animals in the pen, get our trailer lined up, get ready to move if we need to.
The winds are now slower. The smoke is thicker. The uncertainty grows faster than the flames.
Kind of like Armageddon, sweetie. You know, kind of like it's pretty bad. You know, because now it's all in a circular motion. You know, kind of just burning all around in a circle.
More than 180 fires have erupted in Texas since just last week. About 1,200 firefighters are battling the blazes and more are coming. More than 30 million acres of Texas has burned this year. Now, to put this into perspective for you, that's roughly the size of New Hampshire. Tropical Storm Lee has left tourists at one Alabama beach cleaning their feet. The storm washed small tar balls ashore on Orange Beach over the weekend. Tar balls have continued to wash up since the BP oil spill. BP is now cleaning up the tar balls and will test them. Time for Global News Now. At least 9 people are dead, dozens are hurt after a blast outside the High Court in India. The bomb was put in a suitcase in front of a gate used by attorneys. Today's explosion was the second such blast outside that court complex in 4 months. A plane carrying Russian, German, and Swedish hockey players crashed as it took off from a Russian airport today, killing 36 people. The team was scheduled to play a match today. 3 people did survive the crash, but they are in critical condition. At least 130 people were hurt in clashes in Egypt that erupted last night between soccer fans and police. Security officers say they were provoked after some fans insulted them and broke stadium chairs and threw them. Swedish automaker Saab is filing for bankruptcy protection. It has been plagued with problems, including a cash crunch that stalled production. It has also delayed paying workers. General Motors sold Saab last year. Swedish Automobile now owns it. And that's your Global News Now. Time now for Your Vote 2012. With 59 reasons, Mitt Romney says you should vote for him.
This is a pretty complete volume of the work that we've had over the last several months. It's about 150 pages with 59 different policy ideas. There are a lot more where these came from. But we've got one of these for each of you if you'd like to take it and read it and take a look at it. It's in color.
He unveiled his 59-point jobs plan last night. He says it focuses on the middle class and would halt any regulations and policies implemented by President Obama that have stalled job growth. The president will unveil his jobs plan in an address to Congress tomorrow night. Though his plan is still under wraps, President Obama is already pressing Congress to pass it.
The time for Washington games is over. The time for action is now.
Policymakers expect one of his themes will be education. Teachers have not fared well in the recession. In August 2007, the unemployment rate among educators was 4.9%. By last month, it had skyrocketed to 9.4%. The American dream has turned into a nightmare for many. Next, how that's led to a change in perception regarding home ownership. And 'tis the season for getting back on track. A look at this year's holiday sales projection. And ladies, you may want to take a stand at work after hearing our news. These stories and much more when INN continues.